Hello and welcome. Have you ever wondered what happens after we die? Is there really a heaven and a hell? Most people don't think about it until it's too late. But the truth is, the path you choose in this life decides your destination in the next. There are signs, warnings, and even dreams trying to wake you up before it's too late. In this video, we'll reveal the unseen rules that separate heaven from hell. Rules that have never changed and never will. By the end, you'll understand why faith is the key to your eternal future. Stay with me. You won't want to miss this.
I work on Earth, broadly speaking, in the role of distinguishing between the upper and lower worlds. Simply put, this means determining whether one goes to heaven or descends into hell. Right now, I am extremely busy because there are an increasing number of people who are choosing to descend into the lower world. We are not allowed to directly intervene in the affairs of people on Earth. Our role is solely to observe what choices individuals make for themselves. In the case of those who continue to choose the path leading downward, we sometimes provide warnings in the form of images. For example, they may experience dreams in which they are falling downward, have frequent dark or unsettling dreams, or receive certain impressions through inspiration. They may feel a vague sense that something is off. All of these are subtle warnings. If you continue on this path, you will end up in such a world. These warnings serve as a kind of cautionary message. However, they appear only as mild inspirations, something that might seem like a random dream. At this stage, some people reflect on themselves and realize, this is not good. I must change. They adjust their choices and, at the last moment, change course. Of course, this is entirely their own decision. From our perspective, it is ideal when someone recognizes these warnings and begins making choices that lead them upward. However, there are many who, despite receiving such warnings multiple times and experiencing disturbing dreams, still refuse to change their words and actions. They persist in making the same choices. For these individuals, the preparations for their descent gradually solidify. Yet, when they're still full of energy and thriving in various aspects, socially, economically, or otherwise, they often ignore these signs entirely. They continue on their downward trajectory, oblivious to the consequences. When the time comes to leave this world, an escort arrives to take them. However, they, having no recollection of their past choices leading to this moment, may experience a terrifying nightmare, a dark shadow pulling at their feet. They will not understand why they are having such a disturbing dream, but the cause of it dates back to decisions made long ago. When the time comes for them to depart from this world, they will be drawn downward without hesitation. By that point, it will be too late. The preparations for their descent will already be complete. Multiple shadowy figures will arrive to take hold of their legs and drag them downward. This may sound like just another story, but it is very real. Speaking about this is quite rare. There are usually no opportunities or occasions for such discussions. The only way for the living to realize these truths is through their own awareness. Therefore, those who hear this message should take it as an opportunity to learn. If you do not correct your actions and way of thinking while you still have energy, then when your physical and mental strength decline, and the time comes for you to leave this world, it will be too late. Once your feet are being pulled downward, there will be no way to resist. You will be taken straight away. Thus, it is essential to understand the criteria for descending into the lower world and to learn, while still alive, what leads to such a fate. This is not a matter of personal convenience or inconvenience. There is no time for hesitation. Instead, you must constantly ask yourself what is truly right. If you can maintain this awareness, there will be no reason for you to be dragged down. I am not trying to frighten you, but I am speaking now to those who still have time to change their course. I strongly encourage you to reevaluate your thoughts, values, and actions while you still have the chance. That is all.
Thank you very much. You have made it very clear to me, and I truly appreciate it. I now understand that through dreams and various other signs, we are given the opportunity to realize what consequences our actions will lead to. I will make sure not to overlook these signs and will carefully examine my own heart. Thank you very much once again. I sincerely appreciate it. So, it was Lord Enma, wasn't it? In foreign countries, it's Lord Pole who is carrying out this role, right? How about you? Have you ever had dreams of being chased? I imagine that when you were a child, you might have had such dreams quite often. How about recently? Are you sleeping well? When you encounter something dark and murky from time to time, I encourage you to boldly accept it, and through that, discover your own Buddha nature. If you approach it with the mindset of finding a diamond within everything, then no matter how filthy something may seem, and no matter how much darkness exists within yourself, there is always a diamond to be found. I, too, must continue to do my best, but until the very last moment of the time given to us in this three-dimensional world, let's make absolutely sure that we do not go to hell. Let's strive to reach heaven. May you live your life as the hands and feet of the Buddha. The criteria that separate heaven and hell do not change. They remain the same in the past, present, and future. It doesn't change just because times have changed. It doesn't change because politics have changed. It doesn't change even if civilization changes. The laws of the other world cannot be bent. This is what it means to be universal. They do not shift even by a millimeter. Keep this in mind. If you think, "Oh, that's just an old teaching," you are gravely mistaken. If you think, "This is how things are now," that is also wrong. Changes according to time simply mean changes based on human convenience, adjustments made to suit the circumstances of the physical world. But the boundary between heaven and hell never shifts, not even by a millimeter. This is something you must understand firmly. We have undergone hundreds or even thousands of reincarnations, repeatedly crossing between this world and the next. Each time, we find ourselves standing before Pole, wondering, "Which way should I go?" Or, in Japan's case, before Lord Enma, who points and says, "This way or that way." But no matter which country you are from, one thing remains the same: you will be shown everything about your life. Everything will be revealed to you in an instant. More importantly, your thoughts, what you have thought and felt, will carry the greatest weight. People tend to hide their thoughts, don't they? Even from themselves, there are things they do not realize. But those hidden thoughts will be laid bare. With this in mind, be conscious of what kind of thoughts you are harboring each day, and let's make sure that we truly return to heaven. This channel serves as a guide to the path to heaven. Faith is the first and foremost key. Never forget this. That concludes today's message. Thank you very much.
How did you feel after watching the video? Lord Pole is a symbolic name, representing a figure like a pole that separates heaven and hell. He has delivered a spiritual message in this role. Lately, more and more people are heading toward hell, and various spirits have given warnings to guide us. We hope people realize the truth while they are still alive. It is in this three-dimensional world that we have the rare opportunity to learn from higher dimensional souls. With that in mind, we are sharing this video with you. We are not trying to threaten or scare anyone. Please help spread this channel's message. We would truly appreciate it if you could subscribe, like, and support our channel. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. Please stay tuned for the next video.